Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I just got 3 screaming kids out of my house, and so I'm in a good mood. Last night my 6-year-old had someone over to spend the night, and you don't realize until it's like a chemical reaction that occurs when you get more than one of these little monsters together, and just like that, it's like your nerves are on edge constantly because it's whether it's screaming or somebody getting hurt or I want this or I want that. I'm sure there's many of you out there that can identify with that. But what would we do without them, you know? I'm going to start here with TA Academy, Trade Different at Kia Crypto. I always like to remind people this guy right here has made 2 perfect calls, and for that reason I pay attention when he talks about this charting stuff that I don't know. XRP community, the XRP BTC Renko chart is a great noise canceling method. Look at the massive bullish volume. It shows that whales are accumulating low levels. This huge volume will send XRP far beyond its all-time high. And he's got this, Joker is their trading bot or something, is the way I understand it. But what he's pointing out is this is the XRP Bitcoin trading pair. And he's pointing out how the volumes are increasing down here at the lower level. And so they're accumulating. And so he said this is a very bullish sign. And this volume he thinks it'll send XRP far. Again, he thinks that it will send XRP far beyond its all-time high. I personally, not because of this chart, but I personally have always believed that XRP hasn't seen anything yet and that it'll go way past its all-time high. I still believe it, and I'll continue to believe it. And this is just his opinion from a chart perspective and why he believes it. Okay, King Solomon, this guy, I've shown you these guys over the last few days, but these guys, they do these deep dives, and sometimes, every once in a while, I'll see one of them and I'm like, well, that's my audience. I don't know if they'll get either bored or it'll be too much of a connections that are trying to be made. But to me, this one was more of a basic, you can kind of see what's going on. And he's at XRP_out. Largest non-bank financial provider in the Philippines, Cebuena Lilier, 2,500 branches, invests in Kakao Talk-backed Satoshi Citadel Industries. Cebuena Lilier uses XCurrent, and he's got the article down here where they're going to be using RippleNet. So that's XCurrent. And then he says, SCI on Ripple website, XRP buying guide. And so if you go, what he's talking about here is if you go down here, this is the Citadel right here. And I've seen that's been on Ripple's website for a long time if you go to the how to buy XRP section. So very interesting tie-ins there. All right, next. This is from Lord XRP at Bit4Coins. It happened once and it can happen twice. This is something a lot of you probably haven't seen. This is what happened in 2017. And remember, this was before even being close to regulatory certainty. This was before Wall Street was coming in. It was before XRapid, which is Ripple's software that uses XRP. It was before Ripple going online with off of pilots with any of these major banks or payment companies. This was all this right here. And back then they called it Ripple all the time. The media did. Ripple went up 36,108%. Now, as the price gets higher, that'll be, it'll be kind of like the way Bitcoin's done. The great percentage increases will decrease. But I still think that we have a massive, some massive percentage gains because of the newness of this. And remember, this is high risk, high reward. There's been a lot of risks that like a traditional, like let's say, I'm trying to think of an S&P name. Like if you owned, say, Exxon stock or something like that, that has a long history, a long track record. But when you're investing in high risk things like XRP and these digital assets, there are a lot of unknowns. And for that reason, you're able to potentially participate in these kind of gains. This is the first time in history I've seen an opportunity to invest in these kind of gains. And we're seeing it. Just look at the charts right now. You're seeing crazy gains right now. But I believe that we're not even close to these kind of gains being over with. Not even close, in my opinion. Okay. And next, this was interesting. This is from Tiffany Hayden. Now, remember, Tiffany Hayden is probably the most prominent person in the XRP community. She's got 75.3 thousand followers, and she's I would say a techie. Maybe that's the right word. She really understands the technology and that part of it. And there's a group in the XRP community of about, I'd say, 10 to 20 people who are really, really smart in that regard. I'm not one of them. I'm more of a big picture guy and the financial aspect of all of this. But a lot of these are really good to follow. So give Tiffany Hayden a follow if you haven't. She would probably be the first follow you would want to do in this community, at Hayden Tiff. And she says, hey, Senator Shoup, she's talking to Chuck Schumer, Senator Chuck Schumer. Why is the first IP associated with Mt. Gox? Now, those of you that don't remember, Mt. Gox was the disaster back in, I believe, 2014. Mt. Gox was, as I recall, it was hacked maybe, and tons of digital assets were either stolen or lost. It was a big controversy. It was a big deal, and it was probably the first big thing like that with a crypto exchange. Well, I don't know where she found this, but it is fascinating. She asked Chuck Schumer, she says, why is the first IP associated with Mt. Gox owned by the Department of Homeland Security? Isn't that odd? From the Internet Archive, January 6, 2007. This is the IP address, reverse DNS, dhs.gov, verified. Someone said something in here, and this right here, he says, this is the same time that Jed purchased the Mt. Gox domain name. Now, remember, that's Jed McCaleb is my understanding. Jed McCaleb was one of the founders of Mt. Gox, who then eventually he sold it to another guy, and that's when all the problems happened. But then Jed McCaleb went and founded Ripple and XRP, and then he left Ripple and founded Stellar, okay? And then not more than, I think, a month ago, Tiffany Hayden posts a picture of her meeting Jed McCaleb on Twitter. And now she's got this information. So, I mean, she knows a lot of people in the industry. I can't even imagine the things that she knows, but she's very smart and obviously has some information here. This is fascinating, though. Okay. Next, from Mr. BXRP. Now, folks, listen and listen good. Listen up real close to what I'm about to cover. This is very important. This was posted by Mr. BXRP, at XRP Mr. He's a major XRP community member. You need to follow him. In fact, he told me that anytime I cover him on this channel, his wife laughs about how I'm saying Mr. B. And so I hear that kind of thing from people all of the time. Okay. But he says, XRP community member, Big Skinny, and that's Matt Skinner 15, who I also know, got scammed yesterday by someone that pretended to be Ledger support, and they hacked him out of all of his digital assets. He has made multiple posts on what happened, and Brad explained it on Backup. That's Brad Combs. And for those of you that don't follow him, he's a good follow too, at Backup Bradley, and he's got a YouTube channel, Brad Combs, Backup Brad Combs, I believe what he goes by. But Brad Combs explained it last night on his YouTube channel. I encourage all XRP influencers, especially YouTubers, to tell his story and warn others. We all know not to give out our seed phrases, but people lose their ability to think clearly in times of stress and panic. And I have spoken with Skinny many times, and he is a good man. I agree. Okay, now I'm going to tell you the way I understand. The first thing you need to understand is, do not ever, this is number one, because no matter what even if you're freaked out listening to my voice right now, if you do not ever give out anyone your 24 seed words or your PIN number, you're not in trouble. Do not type them out on a computer. Do not tell them to anybody. When you set up your Ledger Nano S, they tell you what to do. You write your 24 words down, you write your PIN down, and you don't ever give that to anyone. I don't care who asks for it. You don't give it to anyone. You keep it to yourself, period. If you do that, you're not having your stuff stolen. Okay? So here's my understanding, and this may not be exact, but it's pretty close. My understanding of what happened to him is, many of you will know, when you get the Ledger Nano S, they have Ledger Live software that's associated with it. Ledger Live software you put on your computer, okay? What I believe, what was explained to me is that hackers, now remember, if you're on your computer, if you click on a link that a hacker has sent you, you can have spyware on your computer from that point. And they could have keystroke software that records all of your keystrokes. That's the reason the Ledger Nano S is such a good thing to have, because you're not putting in those 24 words. You're not typing them in on your computer. You're not typing your PIN number in on your computer. It's on the physical device, which is hooked to the computer. But unless they can't see what you're typing in on that device, that's the key. Well, what happened in this instance is he apparently had clicked on some kind of spyware. Hackers had put on his computer, had made his computer look like he didn't have a balance. It showed his XRP, but it didn't show a balance, okay? And it freaked him out. And so the way I understand it is he either went to Google and typed in, Ledger support, or he went to, or they had put a fake 900 or 800 number in his Ledger Live that he called, and then they asked him for his 24 words and PIN, or just 24 words. And once they got that, they had his XRP. Okay, so he posted, now I got this from Diane B at LIVN with passion. What Matt Skinner posted was, no one ever called this number about your Nano S. I got hacked, lost all my XRP. So now what this looks like, this is from Google. So it looks like here that he typed in Ledger Nano S support on Google, and it led him to this, which is probably a fake website, cryptophonesupport.com, and to this phone number, their Ledger Nano helpline. This is all fake right here, folks. Do not go on to Google and do anything, type in Ledger Nano support. Do not do anything without going straight to the website like this. But the moral of the story is this. No matter what you do not give anyone your 24 words, period. Do not give anyone your PIN, period. Do not type it in on a computer. Do not do anything that would give a hacker access. You can see them and type your PIN on your device only and write it down. And that's all you ever do, folks. Ever. That's all you ever do. Okay, and so that is the lesson here. This is not a defect in Ledger Nano S. Now, the Ledger Live software, when you're in that software, you use that software under the assumption that a hacker has control of that software. You have to. And if you're using that assumption and you don't ever tell anybody your 24 words, and you don't ever type in your PIN number, type any of this in on your computer, then you're okay. But do not assume that your Ledger software is okay, that you haven't been compromised. That's one of the lessons here. But the main lesson is, don't give anyone your 24 words. Do not give anyone your PIN. Write them down and leave it at that. and hide them. Okay, C3 Nick, I hope I reiterated that enough. C3 Nick, we are excited to finally launch Binance US and bring the security, speed, and liquidity of Binance.com to North America. Binance US will be led by our local partner BAM and will serve the US market in full. Regulatory compliance. This is big, folks. This is a game changer because this means Binance is going to compete head-to-head with the big boys in the United States like Coinbase. Okay, from NBKLYRAD, this is the other thing you need to know about this. U.S. customers to be blocked from trading on Binance.com. Okay, so in conjunction with their opening up the office or opening up a site for the U.S., you're going to lose your access to Binance.com. Now, this is from XRP Crypto Wolf, who found us some more details, which is good. Binance will stop allowing U.S. customers to trade on their website on September 12th, but IDC, since I switched over to Bitrue is the best XRP base pair exchange with 50 plus pairs. I highly recommend signing up with them. Here's his link. And he put in this, this is Binance. This shows the date that Binance is going to do it. So get your digital assets off. If you're in the U.S., get them off of Binance by November the 12th of this year. September the 12th is the date. By September the 12th, have them off. Get it? Everybody got it? I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family to get your digital assets, if you're in the United States, off of Binance by September the 12th. I would do it sooner. I'm going to do it immediately. Thank you for listening.